Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you back to Etsy Learning Academy, and of course, this happens to be our YouTube and Facebook video. Today, we shall be doing the graphing of trigonometric functions, which happens to be a very sophisticated and crucial part for most students. Now, I'm going to simplify this topic so that you are able to solve almost everything on this particular question. Of course, I'll be a bit slow so that you get the concept. Now, listen. If you haven't registered for personal lessons at Etsy Learning Academy, make sure that you inbox me on +26037664046, and I'll be able to register you at our learning center, and then you start your tuitions. You are going to really improve in whatever you are doing. Etsy Academy remains the best for you. Let's work out this. Now look at this. The question is saying we find the period, the amplitude, the vertical shift, and the phase shift of the given function. And then we have been told to graph it. Now look at this. A lot of people, a lot of students really have a challenge, because when they look at such questions, they are like, come on, how exactly am I going to plot it? Let me tell you, the most tricky part in solving these particular questions is simply you finding your x-axis values. Okay? X-axis values, and most commonly y-axis values. Many students get challenges in doing that. Now let me show you how to do it. You have been given the function of f of x is equal to 2 sine 2 outside, factored out, then x minus pi, right? The question is saying, what is the period? So period is found by this formula. You say 2 pi over absolute value of b. Now, this b, where is it coming from? This b, where are you going to get it from? If you want to find b, just say in front of x, or say coefficient of x. So for this question, we are going to expand it, because we have f of x is equal to 2 sine 2, then x minus pi, right? So you can expand it. Okay, this is what your friends learned at, from the academy. So you just expand it, right? Then you are going to have sine, then 2 multiplied by x, that is 2x, minus 2 multiplied by that, and you are going to have your 2 pi, like that. Now, from there, what exactly do you have to do? So, in front of x, you've got a 2. So, therefore, you can say your period is going to equal to 2 pi over, in absolute value, you get 2, or coefficient of x. Then your period becomes pi. That implies that in your x-axis, you are going to be changing. It will be your graph, the difference in terms of x values is going to be pi, right? Pi. Now look at this. Then they say we find the amplitude. The amplitude is just the maximum displacement of an object from its initial position to whatever, where it will end. So in this case, how do you find the amplitude? Just say behind sine, or behind cos, or coefficient of cos. That gives you the amplitude. So in this case, your amplitude is simply 2 units. Right? 2 units. We are clear on that. Now, they are saying the vertical shift. we calculate vertical shift. How do you find the vertical shift? To find the vertical shift, just say a constant. Okay? Just say constant. So whenever you say constant, what are you talking about? You are simply talking about the value of c in an equation. So in most cases, let's say this equation was f of x is equal to 2 sine 2x minus y then plus 2. This is a constant because it does not have anything attached to it. That becomes a vertical shift. Now, because it is not there, our vertical shift is 0. And I'll be able to show you how to use whatever we are collecting right now. How do you find the first shift? Before you do anything, before you manipulate the function, leave it the way it is in the original form. Then collect this part which contains pi only. This part which contains pi only, collect it. Then say x, then because there is a minus pi, then equate it to 0. Do not get the x together. No, I've just collected where pi is. Then I'm going to say x is equal to pi. And that becomes my vertical shift. So what does vertical shift imply? It implies that for my x values, the differences should always be by pi. It should always be shifting by pi, right? Now, I know you would want to just go directly and start shifting by pi, but then it's going to give you a challenge, okay? It is going to give you a challenge because there is also something called the x scale, which you use to scale your values, which really I don't like anyway. But I'll show you how you can go direct. Now, you don't even need to use this to be able to plot your graph. You can actually get your graph the easy way. Let me show you. Yes, we got our period as pi. Yes, we got our amplitude as 2 units. I'll show you. I don't need this. Then I got vertical shift 0, right? What else? Phase shift. All this is not needed. You don't need this data unless you've been asked. Now I'll be able to show you how the graph is going to come out like. Okay? How do I form x and y values? So let's expand. So you are going to expand your f of x is equal to 2 sine, then you're going to have your 2x minus 2 pi, right? Then, you know how the original y is equal to sine x graph is going to come out like. How does it come out like? So if this is your graph, because you know that this is positive 1, and then this is negative 1, right? So the first one you have is your 0, then you go to 90 over 2, then you go to 180, then you go to 270, then you go to 360, right? Which is 2 pi. Your graph starts at 0 for sine, because we're doing sine. It starts at 0, goes all the way at 1, okay? Returns back to 0, so it starts at 0. So you're going to say these are going to be x initial point, and then these are going to be y initial points. So for x initial points, what do you have? You have your 0 first, which is here. Then you've got your 90, and then your pi, and then your 370. Sorry, your 270, and then your 360. Okay? I'm just showing you clearly so that you know. Then y values, what do you have? The first point you have is a 0, which is at this point. So you just have to also know this. Then you go to 1. Then you go to back to 0. Then you go down to negative 1. then you go up to 0 again, like that. So this is how your graph looks like, the original graph. This is how it looks like when you're dealing with sine, right? Now, how are we going to get the values that we are going to use to plot? Simple, guys. You are using this method that I'm giving you, the simplest. It actually takes you directly to the graph. No need to know where it's going directly. So what you do, you're going to get this wall part, right? For this function that I've made there. Okay, so I'm going to get that part and say 2x minus 2 pi are equal to mu, right? Then I'm going to say 2x is equal to mu plus 2 pi. Then you say over 2 over 2. Then you're going to have x is equal to mu plus 2 pi. Then whatever I'm going to get, I'll be multiplying by 1 over 2. So this is going to give me my x values. How about y values? So in the exam, you don't even need to show all these things. Just go directly, get what is going to give you x values, get what is going to give you y values. For y values, I'll look at the graph. So I've got a 2 here. So I'm going to say y is equal to, there is a 2 here. I get my 2. Then inside, just put x and get your phase shift. So phase shift is 0. Now I can get x values and y values. So x, y. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I needed something like 5 points. 4. Then this is going to be 5. Okay, 5 points. Okay, this is the 5th. So now look at this, guys. I'm going to find the y values first. So y values, I'm going to get my equation, which is here. I'll be using these values here. So look, we started with 0. So I'll get the 0 and put it here. If I put 0 there, 2 multiplied by 0 is 0. So my y value is going to be 0. If I get 1, I say 1, I put it here where there is x. 2 multiplied by 1, it is 2. If I get 0, I put it here, I'll still get a 0. If I get negative 1, I put it here, I'll get negative 2. If I get 0, okay, this we've done. If I get 0, I put it here, I'll still get a 0. Okay, these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, these are 5 points actually, no need. So I've gotten the y values, right? Now let me get my x values, and that is where you need to understand. So you start with 0. So I'm going to use my 2. So I'm going to say x is equal to, so here where there is mu, that is the initial, right? So your initial x value was 0. So I'm going to put 0 here plus 2 pi. So I'll still be able to get 2 pi, but I need to multiply by 1 over 2. So this and that will go, and I'm going to get pi here. Then I use this now. So this is going to be x is equal to pi over 2 plus 2 pi. So this is over 1 over 2. This into this is 1 multiplied by pi. It's pi plus 1 into 2. 2 multiplied by that, that is 4 pi. I'm going to get something like 5 pi over 2. Then remember, I'm multiplying by half. So this is going to be 5 pi over 4. Okay, so 5 pi over 4. Next point. We go to the third point, which is pi. So this is going to be like x is equal to, here I'm putting pi, because that is our third point, pi plus 2. Then whatever I get, I multiply by 1 over 2. So this is going to be like 3 pi over 2, right? 3 pi over 2. So this is going to be 3 pi over 2. Then I go to my fourth point, which is 270 there. I'll use the same concept. You don't need to struggle. It will take you directly. So you said 3 pi over 2 plus 2 pi. Whatever you get, you multiply by 1 over 2. So this is going to give you 1 there, so 2 there. 2 into 2, it's then multiplied by about 3 pi, right? 2 into 2 is 1. 1 multiplied by pi, 3 by 3 pi, 3 pi, plus. Okay, 1 into this is 2. 2 multiplied by that is 4 pi. Then whatever we get, we're multiplying by 1 over 2. So we're going to have like 7 pi over 2. Okay, 7 pi over 2. So you are quick enough, very quick enough, knowing that you are doing the right thing. Okay, so this is going to be like 4 down there. Okay, then we go to the next one. The next one, we are using 2 pi. So this is going to be x is equal to 2 pi plus 2 pi. Whatever we get, we multiply by 2. So this is going to be like 4 pi over 2, which is going to give us 2 pi. So this is going to be like a 2 pi. Now we have the points. Let's now graph what we have. Okay, let's now graph it. We see how well it's going to come out. Okay, so we can now graph it. Okay, because all my x values are positive, so you see, my graph is already telling me how it's going to look like. Okay. Then I'll also do it in the y-axis. Then I can now number the figures. So look at this. We started at, let me use this color. So it started at 0. Now look at this. I haven't used any of this, but my graph is going to tell me, look, the highest point is positive 2. And remember, what was our amplitude? 2 units. Okay? The amplitude is 2 units, meaning our graph should at least be at 2. And we already have a 2 here. It's showing us where our maximum is going to be. Right? How about our minimum? Our minimum is going to be a negative 2. Right? I don't need to calculate. But my minimum is going to be at negative 2. So, then for x values, what am I going to use? I've got a 0. Then I started with pi. Next, I have 5 pi over 4. Next, I have 3 pi over 2. Next, I have 7 pi over 4. Next, I've got 2 pi, like that. Right? Next, I can do the y values. Let me just wrap that. Already have the y values already intact. So for y values, what do we have? In the y, the highest point is 2. Then in the x, on the negative side, the smallest value is negative 2. Now, I just have to plot my phase shift. My phase shift was at 0. So I will go where 0 is and plot my phase shift. Now, let me graph. We have pi comma 0, which is this point. Next, we have 5 pi comma 2. 5 pi comma 2 is this point. Next, we have 3 pi comma 0. 3 pi comma 0 is this one. Then we have 7 pi over 4 comma negative 2. 7 pi over 4 comma negative 2 is here. Then we have 2 pi comma 0. 2 pi comma 0 is here. Let's now remove the graph. We see how it's going to come out like. So this is how the graph is going to come out like. We move like that. Then we come out like that. Then pass like that and go there. This is exactly how the sine graph comes out like, right? If you want, you can continue using the same phase, the same concept. If you want, you can extend like that on your paper, okay? But basically, this is just how it's supposed to come out like, okay? You get all your full marks. So this graph that we have drawn, this is your y is equal to 2 sine 2x minus pi. And that is how you graph it. And it's very simple. Okay? If you found this video helpful and interesting, don't forget to register for personal lessons at Etsy Academy. Inbox on this number that you have here, and your work is going to be very simplified. You don't have to struggle. Thank you so much.